So guys, because it's 35 years since the Commodore 64 came out, that's 1982, we're going to just pick 5 reviews from the Commodore 64 Visual Compendium. That's by Bitmap Books, Sam Dyer, and we're going to read those out, and they're going to be very random like. We're not going to kind of do any preparation on this. It's going to be pure and simple, and we're going to see what games come up. So we're going to go from any sort of part of the book that is in chronological order and see what we end up with. World Class Leaderboard. World Class Leaderboard would have to be not only the best golf sim of our beloved bread bin, but the best sports sim full stop. Bruce and Roger Carver created a most wonderfully playable game which I still play regularly with my father. It's clearly a massive technical achievement on the Commodore 64 with stunning animation and depth of gameplay. The slow screen redraw and slight unpredictability of where the ball will land, even with the perfect shot, just add to the charm and help make the world-class leaderboard a timeless classic, an enormous challenge and great fun to play even today. Kevin Tilley. That's released in 1987, you see there, and it's as mentioned, developers Bruce and Roger Carver, Access Software. World-class leaderboard. I mean, what a classic 8-bit game that was released on the Commodore 64. Also, you probably played it on other machines. I remember playing it on the Spectrum. The colours obviously not so rich and good as the C64, but all the same, one that goes down in history there. So let's do the next one. Let's kind of randomly flick another sports. Now, Hyper Sports, great game in the arcade this. The review. I recall Hyper Sports being used for a round of the kids' TV quiz show First Class. While the Commodore 64 game cut the pole vault and 2-player mode, it was a decent coin-up conversion and nice cartoony graphics all packed into a single load. Each of the 6 events is a masterclass in playability, easy to pick up, hard to master. It was a bit of a joystick killer though. That's 1985. Let's kind of go early days. Lazy Jones. How many of you guys have heard of this game? Released in 1984. Here's the review. Let's pull back there. The clever thing about Lazy Jones, in which a bored hotel janitor sticks his nose inside every door he comes across, is that it's actually a collection of familiar arcade games wrapped up in a preposterous portmanteau scenario. Get my tongue around that one. Had it been a film, Amicus would have made it. Every time you went through a door, you began playing something closely resembling Frogger, Space Invaders, Snake or whatever. Nevertheless, they mostly succeeded in being Moorish. I remember recommending Lazy Jones to people on a budget simply because you got so much for your money, and when the music was marvellous, a true testimony to David Whittaker's Kung Fu. Sounds like a good game. I actually haven't played this, I don't know about you guys, but sounds like a bit of a kind of mix of games all in one, so I think worth a try if you haven't. Nice artwork there, look at that. It's kind of randomly Gunship, look at that. I don't know, I haven't got that sort of full open, but you can probably see the cool artwork there. Let's go into the kill. And when Microprose released Gunship in 1986, military airborne warfare was hip. Kids loved action movies like Iron Eagle and Top Gun with iconic pilots and high-tech aircraft. The AH-64 Apache was just introduced by the US military, and Microprose made it possible to operate this state-of-the-art helicopter at home. As you'd expect from Microprose, the attention to detail was incredible and the package content was comprehensive. Gunship truly set new benchmarks. Rocco DeLeo, wow, great to hear from him. 1986, Microprose. Let's do one other? Yeah, why not? Okay, cool drawing. I was kind of hoping we'd land on this. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful, iconic game from the 80s. And with such a tiny little amount you can do with the character. A fantastic character design there. Right, the very short but cool review here is from Andy Dyer. It would be amusing to think that Palace Software looked at Arcade Shooter Defender and thought, yeah, it's good, but it's not quite witchy enough, and it came up with Cauldron. The truth though is that this was instead a clever attempt to fuse two gaming genres, in this case shooting and platforming, and the results were interesting. All this was tempered by the pain of the excruciatingly high difficulty level, which was harsh even by old school standards, more trick than treat. So there you go, the Commodore 64, 35 years old. Now the way I'm delivering that, 35 years ago the C64 came out, and this book celebrates every aspect of it.